WWE made these three mistakes with the return of Saturday Night's Main Event on December 14th, 2024. Sure, it had a five-match card that had filled of nostalgia from the 80s mixed with what we know today's product as in 2024. Cody Rhodes, Kevin Owens, they put on a decent match on the main event side, and of course all of the post-match action, but there was three areas in which I felt like WWE could have improved on. That's not to say that this is going to be a just rip on WWE video, because I thoroughly enjoyed the show. It was a 2-hour show that was quick paced. There was no lull in the action. It was match to match to match, but they had a little bit of breathing room within. Sure, you had to deal with commercials, but you knew you were going to do so heading into this show. The company loaded up the show with a bunch of big name talent and big matches. And the production side of things was outstanding. From the retro production, the aisleway, the minimalistic type set, to Jesse Ventura on commentary. They absolutely crushed it in that regard, but let's nitpick a little. Number 3, it was rushing through matches. Now, these last two are going to get a little bit more in-depth, and I think you'll agree with those a little bit more. This one is a little subjective. WWE booked a 5-match card simply because they wanted to try to get as many talents as possible on the show. Rightfully so. It's the big return to NBC. It's the first night of, or the first Saturday Night's Main Event in years. WWE, I think, is going to have a big audience. I think if they break 2 million, 2.5, I think that would be outstanding for them. I don't see them pulling in, 4, 5, 6 million. I don't, but I could be wrong. They wanted to load up this card with enough talent, and to do so to get as many people over in front of a bigger audience, because come January 25th, the ratings are not going to be as big, right? We knew that. So they included the Sami Zayn and Drew McIntyre at the end. Obviously, you had the Women's U.S. Championship. But at the end of the day, this show was something in which I felt like a lot of the matches were rushed through. They would have, the U.S. Women's Championship title tournament had 8 minutes. The main event only went like 12 minutes. I felt like the first hour was really, really rushed, and then they let the second hour breathe a little, but it wasn't to my liking. I don't think going forward we need to have 5 matches. I think we need to have maybe 4, maybe 3 matches, and then you sprinkle in a little bit of time to breathe, because the talent, instead of trying to tell a story, I thought they were just doing moves for moves for moves. And not to necessarily say that they were just doing a bunch of indie spots and trying to get their stuff in, but it was like, can we just let this breathe a little bit? Like the triple threat, I thought, was really, really rushed. The Women's U.S. Championship match was not very good, but hey, it is what it is. Mishin and Chelsea Green, it is what it is. Props to Chelsea Green for getting her championship win, but I don't know. I just thought everything was rushed. Number 2, it was the opting to have Finn Balor get pinned here. Okay, so Gunther defended the World Heavyweight Championship against Damian Priest and Finn Balor in a triple threat. You knew going into it was going to be a lot of fun. It was a lot of fun. The reason that WWE, I thought, going into the show, adding Damian Priest in the match was done for 2 reasons. One, he obviously has a history with both guys. He put Gunther over at SummerSlam to drop the World Heavyweight title. He put Gunther over at Survivor Series just a few weeks ago. And they were clearly building towards Gunther versus Finn Balor for the World Heavyweight title. I like that feud. I really, really wanted to see Finn Balor versus Gunther, regardless of what Finn Balor has done as a singles on television, because he hasn't done much, right? He had been feuding with Damian Priest and lost those matches. Hasn't really done much to warrant a championship opportunity, but it was someone for Gunther to beat. He's a heel. They're trying to get to Gunther's babyface turn, fine. And I figured, okay, well, you put Priest in there, you have him take the pin for the match, take it from Gunther, and that way you can set up, Gunther versus Finn Balor at Raw Netflix or Royal Rumble or Saturday Night's Main Event or whatever, right? They didn't do that. They pinned Finn Balor. I didn't like that, because now what is the crux of Balor saying, hey, I deserve an opportunity? I never got beat. Like, they had a very easy out if you're trying to get to Gunther versus Finn Balor. Hey, maybe I'm wrong. Maybe they're not building towards that, but I don't understand why you make the triple threats if you're not building towards that, and I really don't understand if you are building towards it, which I assume you are, that you wouldn't just put over Gunther by having him pin Priest, you know what I mean? And you save the Balor match. Because a Balor match and Gunther, that could be a lot of fun, especially now that Gunther is a babyface. You have something to build off of there. You have something to really, really sink your teeth into if you're a WWE fan. But they didn't do that. And it's like, well, what are we doing? Right? It's one of those finishes of like, what are we doing? You need something. I'm very curious to see what they do on Monday Night Raw. Are they really going to go on television and Balor demand a championship opportunity? Are they going to have Priest and Balor do one more match and it'd be like a number one contenders match? And then that way you have Balor not only get a win over Priest, but then you have, Balor going and challenging Gunther for the World Heavyweight title. How do you go about this? That would be my big question. And obviously we'll find out come Monday Night Raw. They're taping also the Christmas week episode of Monday Night Raw this week. So we'll know what they have cooking. Number one, it was the main event of Cody Rhodes versus Kevin Owens. So the finish, controversial, thus the reason for the post-match angle. I get that, okay? So the finish is, of course, Kevin Owens, there's two referee bumps, okay? Charles Robinson gets knocked out. I forget who the second referee was. Kevin Owens grabs a chair, comes back into the ring. He's going to use it on Cody Rhodes. Typical heel fashion. He does not use the chair on Cody Rhodes. Okay, no big deal. Cody Rhodes hits the crossroad on the chair. Okay? He dumps the chair out of the ring. Keep in mind, Kevin never used it. I know he was thinking about using it. He wanted to use it, but he technically never used it. So the ultra babyface in Cody Rhodes essentially cheated to beat Kevin Owens. Charles Robinson literally stands up with the chair in front of him on the floor. He is standing over the chair, and he's counting the 1, the 2, the 3 on the outside of the ring on the apron, okay? And he's holding the rope while doing so. After the match, we see Kevin Owens. He attacks Cody Rhodes. He's incensed, right? He got cheated. He got screwed out. His character is a paranoid guy that he thinks that he's getting screwed over in every way, shape, or form, right? So he attacks Cody Rhodes. He lays him out with a pile driver. And he walks up to the aisle as Cody Rhodes is getting stretchered to the back. And he gets into a little bit of an altercation with Triple H. They're seen arguing. And we go off the air. I understand you did not want Kevin Owens to win the championship. I don't think anyone thought that he would. What I didn't like is the fact that you beat him. Because if it was a simple situation of, okay, this was the final match of the feud. We're going to have Cody Rhodes go over. The feud is over with. And we send the crowd home happy. No, you pointed out that Kevin Owens has a valid point and he got screwed out of the title. Okay. What you could have done to make things a lot more simpler is simply have Kevin Owens get DQ'd. He's in there. He can't beat Cody. He just loses it. He gets DQ'd. He attacks him with the chair and they stretcher out Cody. It does two things. One, it still gets you the ultimate payoff, okay? Or you could have had him count it out, whatever, right? Either way, Kevin Owens is still incensed because he didn't win the championship, but you can still protect him. So you still get your optimum outcome by having Kevin Owens lose his temper after the match and lay out Cody Rhodes and do the stretcher job. And you also protect Kevin Owens because now this is the second straight time that Cody Rhodes has beaten Kevin Owens. Bash in Berlin, Cody Rhodes went over. Here, Cody Rhodes went over. And oh, by the way, what has Kevin Owens done in the meantime? I understand he's been feuding with Randy Orton. He has not defeated Randy Orton. He rarely works TV matches as well. What does Kevin Owens warrant to get a championship opportunity after taking 2 straight losses? It just doesn't make any sense to me. I thought they could have helped out Kevin a little bit better, and they still could have accomplished what they needed. But